All right, welcome back to Lockdown Sports. It's been a while. I apologize, but I have Saj, I have myself, and Marcus Rashford,
Oh no.
my boy, has left the village. He's left Manchester United, and it's time to talk about it. Before we do that, though, we're going to start this year off strong, okay? We're going to start every video with a mental health check, okay? We're talking about football today, so I want you to describe, Saj, your mood this week in terms of a player, in terms of a moment in their career. Can you get me started?
Mate, it's actually quite relevant to the topic we have. My player is Anthony.
Okay.
I feel like I'm doing circles, but I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, I like that.
And maybe a change of scenery will be good for me. We don't know yet.
Okay. You have been talking about moving to Queensland, so
Potentially.
Let's see. My situation, obviously I told you, I lost our team, the cricket game on the weekend. I feel like Ronaldo after missing the penalty against Bayern Munich in 2012, okay? It's a sad moment. I've let the team down. I've let the coach down, but they're all telling me, it's okay. You're the GOAT. Go out there and do GOAT shit.
Yeah.
And over the next 5 to 7 years, I'm going to have to prove that, aren't I?
Hey, man, they trusted you to take the game home, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be the guy they trust. So.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Okay, let's get back on topic. Marcus Rashford has left on loan to Aston Villa, €40 million buy option. One of the worst bits of transfer. Actually, we do bad transfers all the time at Man United. This is nothing unusual. I'm calling this my 13th reason. What are your thoughts on him firstly leaving United? We'll get into the fit with Villa shortly, but just him leaving United. How do you feel about it right now? As a United fan, of course.
Man, it's a little depressing, but it's also, I feel, a little overdue. It's
okay.
Marcus Rashford's been my favorite player for the last 5 years. I've had a lot of people tell me I'm stupid about that because it is a very divisive opinion. I felt like I could talk my shit during that, was it the 2022 season when Ten Hag first came? And I'm like, look at this guy, he's an absolute beast.
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, exactly, man. But look, the production says it. He looks a bit lazy when he comes back, and I think at a certain point we do have to hold our players accountable, and they can't have this like academy player bias. So it kind of makes sense to finally let him go. I hope he does have a good kind of comeback at Aston Villa, but it just can't be with us with our current fit, with our current situation. So yeah, it was overdue in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, I get it. He needs to go to do better for himself, but I look at our club right now. Xerxes, Hoyland.
Yep.
They are younger than me. They are more immature than me.
Yeah.
And the problem with immaturity is usually it means confidence, overconfidence, like Garnacho used to be.
Yeah.
But now these guys are in their own head. They're in their sad boy era.
Yeah.
And quote from Amarim after the Fulham game, we lack some pace and power up front.
Yeah.
Also mentioned that he'd rather play the coach, the goalkeeping coach than Rashford.
Yeah.
I want to see that coach of the season because I saw Kobe Manu false 9 last week. So I'd like to see the coach by April. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a fair comment, man.
Anyways, let's talk about Aston Villa's side of things.
Yeah.
There's so many moving parts with Aston Villa this season. I want to play a quick game of hit or miss. They've got 5 big signings. I think it's a pretty big January window.
Yeah.
Daniel Marlin from Dortmund.
Yeah.
They made the Champions League final last year, and now they're selling again, as they always do. Daniel Marlin, how do you feel about that one to Dortmund? Hit or miss?
I think a hit.
Okay.
I think for 21 million, that's not a bad price tag for someone who does have the potential to score goals. I think he's only 25. He's quite young.
He's young.
He's young. It doesn't look it, but he's young.
Okay.
But like, I get it. He's had a poor start in terms of production this year. I think only 4 goals so far. But I think it's still a hit. He'll make good.
Enough.
My bad.
You're talking about Dortmund too much. Andres Garcia, who I didn't know existed until last week from Leganes, right back, only played 1 game, and they lost. Hit or miss? Predict his whole career for me now, please.
I'm going to say hit.
Okay.
Because Matty Cash can only be so good, so
exactly
you need cover.
Exactly right. Axel Disasi on loan from Chelsea.
It's a tough one, but I'm looking at the way they're playing, and I think anyone new is good in that back line.
Lots of injuries.
Yeah, exactly. So I will say hit for this period, not long term.
Okay, I get you. Marco Asensio, this is a really weird one from PSG. He's been playing false 9. He's nowhere near the level that he was meant to be at, obviously, post ACLs.
Yep.
How do you feel about this one? Hit or miss?
I think it's going to be a big fluff.
Okay.
Yeah, big miss from my end.
Okay. And the last one, and the most important one, Marcus Rashford. Do you think this loan move, temporary, might I add, if they exercise the buy option, I'm going to cry. How's this going to work? I have so many questions. You get me started before I ask you all these questions.
This hurts me. I think it's going to be a hit.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a hit. I've looked at their options.
Yeah.
I look at the way Rashford typically plays when he's under new management, and he usually starts off hot. So I think it might be a hit.
Not only that, man. The best Rashford I've seen play with other teams, we only have England as the reference. This is his second goddamn club.
Yeah.
But the way he plays off Kane, I'm sort of thinking about that with Watkins.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about Watkins is after he plays the pass, he'll run too.
Exactly,
It's not a Harry Kane situation where he's sitting on a sofa
Yeah.
after he's made that pass. He's finally got someone that's a much better version of Martial. Obviously, Martial, technically, different gravy. But Watkins is the functional Premier League striker. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of looking at these guys now. Rodgers, Rashford, Watkins.
Man, that's exactly what I was thinking. Can you imagine Watkins making the run for the front post, and then you got Morgan Rodgers doing just the cutback, and he can put that away as well.
My mind wasn't even on tactics, but you raised a good point. These guys will run the show for Aston Villa, but just politically speaking, the England squad, Thomas Tuchel, he can just play Aston Villa.
You're not wrong, mate.
They've got Ross Barkley. He's decent. They've got everyone at the back is English or borderline English with Matty Cash.
Yeah.
I think they can run it. I'm so happy with that side of things. The one question I have, though, Rashford has picked up a lot of bad habits, having to be this hero, this one-man show at Man United. Do you think that's going to take away from the team? Do you see maybe him, like when Sanchez played with Pogba, do you see him almost invading the spaces that Morgan Rodgers plays off of Watkins? Because Rodgers and Watkins has been such a lethal duo. Watkins has been assisting Rodgers so much this season. Those are the situations you want Rashford in. Does it hurt? Is it one more cook to spoil the broth?
I don't think so. I think it's also because of the players they have. When you look at that kind of attacking trio that they have behind Watkins, it's like Rodgers, Jacob Murphy, occasionally Yuri Tillemans in that position, Leon Bailey. These guys can kind of switch positions quite easily. So you get Rashford, he's probably going to start on the left side. Let him have that side to himself. If he does make the run in, these guys are smart enough to just, okay, he's in the middle now, let me hop out to the left. And
that is true.
I can see them kind of being a bit more fluid.
Especially with Ramsey.
Exactly.
I feel like Ramsey just gets thrown everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not like Morgan Rodgers has never felt like he has a position.
Yeah.
He's striker sometimes, he's deep sometimes. The goal he scores against Man City starts in his own half. These sort of things, like I know they can move around, but it's like, will Rashford realize that he also has to be someone to move around? That's what I'm worried about.
Well, you look at his most successful period at United, and it's with Anthony Martial, who kind of played a similar role. These guys were positionless. They just said, we need you to hover in these two particular areas, and they just swap around.
But now it's not two guys; it's a whole functioning team, and I'm worried. I'm really worried because this 40 million buy option was somehow on some Dallas Mavericks bullshit level of negotiation.
Yep.
Do you know some of the other? We signed Ugarte for 55.
I know. That's
like 6 months ago. So I just don't know where the parity is in the league. Anyways, sticking to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
They've made all these signings. Can we put together what their 11 is going to look like, assuming everyone, Pau Torres, John McGinn, everyone is fit, unsuspended? From the back, obviously, Emi Martinez is starting.
Yeah.
The back four.
Yeah.
Where's your mind at right now with their strongest back four? They have a few variations. Matty Cash or Concert at right back. They've got Martin and Digne at left back.
Yeah.
Ideally, where does their back four sit with you?
I think you start with Luka Digne on the left. I know you're a big advocate for Martin.
I hate this. Anyone that plays for Dortmund is a conspiracy of a player. Jadon Sancho hurt me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I think Luka Digne's probably the best fit right now. Also a free kick threat. So good to have that on the pitch. With Pau Torres currently being injured, I probably reckon Mings and Konsa. I don't like the look of Kamara in the back.
What about Disasi? They've just brought him in on loan.
I still think you give preference to Mings. He's your permanent player. He knows the system well. He's played under Unai for however many years, whereas Disasi's brand new. At least give him some time. So I reckon to start off from February onwards, I guess you'd probably stay with Mings, and then I got probably Matty Cash on the right.
Okay, so you don't want to go this new meta of football with your centre back or right back anymore? Because I feel like Cons has done a really good job there.
He has, yeah.
You don't like that?
No, I think I'd like a right back at right back.
Okay.
Even I get it. Cons is good. And he's probably a lot better defensively than Matty Cash is. But yeah, I think if they want to kind of keep being that attacking flair that they have, I'd be putting Matty Cash up.
That's the thing. I feel like Unai is a defensive coach.
Yes.
And that's where it's like, okay, yes, we're saying we want this, but
yeah.
I'm certain when everyone is fit, Consa will be slotting in at right back.
Yeah.
And then they'll use someone else there if they're down late in the game.
Yeah.
Midfield too. Obviously, they play this nice 4-4-1-1, 4-4-2 when they defend.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Tielemans Onana. I think this is as good as it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything one player lacks, the other one has. It's the complement is right there.
Yeah.
My only fear with Tielemans is, of course, needs an asthma puffer every now and then.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on Ross Barkley and not Andre Onana, whatever his first name is, Onana. Amadou.
Yep.
Amadou. It's been a while.
My name's not Andre, mate.
Yeah. So Barkley and Onana, what are your thoughts on that? Because I feel like Barkley has developed, obviously, at Luton into this sort of guy that can play deeper, just control the game, kill the game.
Yeah, he's got a lot more game time recently as well, and he's performed. I think there was one game where he had like 2 assists or 2 goals, something like that. I don't mind it. If I'm being honest, I actually like the look of Kamara when he's playing that defensive midfield. When he's in the double pivot, usually so he was a cover for Amadou when he gets injured. So it was Tielemans.
I mean, he was Onana before they got Onana.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of having Tielemans there and then behind someone like a bit more defensively minded, which is Amadou is your ideal person, but he looks a bit iffy in terms of injuries, and so I would prefer probably Kamara. I think he's looked a bit more
over Onana.
No. Onana first choice.
Okay.
But if he's injured, if he's doubtful, which he is right now, I'm probably putting Kamara.
Okay. I like it. Let's get into the business side. The attack, the front four.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we both have Marcus Rashford on the left.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a sneaky feeling he might be a sub for Watkins.
Yeah.
But I think you have to try it on the left. I'm giving you freelance over the next 3 positions. Because it's really only one position with how 2 guys have been playing, Rodgers and Watkins, but tell me how it's going to go.
Honestly, I'm looking at the way like Unai does his subs and stuff. I don't think Rashford starts. I think he takes the Buendia role where he's always like off the bench.
You just compared Rashford to Ben.
No. Listen. I'm not saying
this is my life now.
I'm not saying that at all.
13 reasons. 13 reasons.
No, but like if you look at it, if whatever Buendia is in the matchday squad, he's always a sub that comes on, like literally every single time.
Yeah.
And that's the only position I can see that's up for grabs. Because how do you displace Leon Bailey? How do you displace Jacob Murphy? How do you displace Morgan Rodgers? Because they've been good. When you look,
my franchise player is a concussion sub. My franchise plays a concussion sub.
But it's true. As in, like, I was looking at this squad, and I'm literally, you know what? This is my position in like the way they're going, right? Like I said, you can't get rid of Morgan Rodgers. You're not gonna get rid of Ollie Watkins.
They've got something working.
Yeah, and even then, your backup for Watkins is now Donyell Marlin. So he's not getting a whiff at the number 9 position, and you're not getting a whiff at that central attacking mid because it's either going to be Morgan Rodgers or it's going to be Yuri Tielemans being pushed up.
My last question before we get into where Villa's going. Where does Asensio fit into any of this? Where left, right, up, down? What Tetris are we doing?
This is the question I was going to ask you. Marcus Rashford and Asensio are fighting for the same position, which is that off the bench role.
I think the way I remember Buendia playing, because he might sub on, but I don't remember watching him too much.
Yeah. I
feel like Asensio is the most like for like.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. But in terms, what I'm talking is usually one of those that 3 behind Ollie Watkins, one of them is always subbed off at that 45-minute mark, that 60-minute mark. That was Buendia's role. He was the replacement. He was the relief. I'm not talking about play styles. I'm just talking from a minutes perspective, right?
Yeah.
Those 30 minutes are from someone off the bench, and I think that position now is either going to go to Rashford or Asensio.
Okay.
And my worry is Asensio has a relationship with Unai Emery.
Does he?
He does. I don't know where it was. It's like they haven't directly worked under each other, but clearly
okay.
he came in and being like, yeah, I know
Okay.
Unai very well.
Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
Espanol.
Probably. There must be some youth system back in the day.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
Let's
man.
not get into all that.
But like, I'm looking at the squad. I'm looking at the way it's built, and I'm thinking these two, they're going to be on the squad, and it's just that 30-minute period. It's going to be one or the other.
Okay.
For the love of God, I hope it's Rashford because he's the better player.
We have 5 subs now.
Yeah.
I'm not as concerned. I think Rashford will play.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping, slight tweak of the hamstring, comes back to United, scores 40 goals next season. Anyways. Let's talk about Aston Villa as a whole then.
Yeah.
Where do they go from here? Really rubbish start to the season, I would say.
Yeah.
I had to look back. In October and November, they only won 1 league game.
Mm-hmm.
Over the league season, they've dropped points to Wolves, West Ham, Palace twice, and I have to include the Man United and Spurs.
Yeah.
So they're sitting in 8th with 14 games left, 6 points off the top 4.
Yeah.
Where do you see this finishing now? This is as strong as you can get of a window.
Man.
They have lost John Duran. I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that, but I think they're fine. They have Ollie Watkins.
Donya Mullen, John Duran, like for
No,
like,
no,
right?
no. It's the fact that they have Watkins.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, they've been uncharacteristically undisciplined defensively. I don't know if you've seen, but like they get caught like on the ball at least twice a game, and they're not that good about running back. And I think you can bring in as many people as you want, but when you're think about Rashford and the type of player he is he going to run back when you're getting caught off? Absolutely not. He is staying up there with the likes of Ollie Watkins. Will probably hold his hands while people are running back. And you're also seeing people like Yuri Tillemans not run back. It's one of the
No, he's running. It's slow-mo, but trust me, he's trying. He's trying.
He's not getting there. So for me, I can't see their position improving all that much. I've seen these like looks at them being a dark horse for the Champions League. I think that's absolute rubbish.
Okay.
They've got maybe 1 round left in them.
This is where I disagree, right? Okay, so Champions League,
Yeah.
I had a look at the table. Their potential round of 16 opponents, one of these 4 teams. Bruges,
Yep.
Atalanta,
Yep.
Dortmund, and Sporting.
Yep.
Bruges they can take. Dortmund, my thoughts on these guys. Weak boys.
Yeah.
Sporting, I think they can take. Amram's left. This is as weak a Sporting side that you'll face. Atalanta is my question mark. Sporting, I understand if you have a problem with them.
Yeah.
That's all they have to do to get through.
Yeah.
And on their side of the bracket is only going to be Liverpool or Barca. They started this season with a win against Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I'm not confident in this, but I think they can make the semis.
Look, it's the Champions League. You need the right squad and a little bit of luck, and these guys have got a good squad. So it's not like they don't have they have a chance. I just can't see it going beyond the round of 16. I agree. They've got probably a 50-50 chance with those teams you've listed. But
Unai was at Villarreal when they made the semis.
Yeah.
I think defensively is the way to go in these knockout games.
100%.
And a game against Arsenal, a game against Man City, a game against Liverpool, it looks, for me, so different to Villa.
yeah.
Like, I feel like Villa's more like Newcastle. And I understand Liverpool still has a bit of rock and roll about them.
Yeah.
But Villa, for me, small stadium, the energy is just another level.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm a big proponent for small stadiums, and that's making me like Villa a lot more. They've got Marcus Rashford, so I do think they can make at least the quarters.
Are you saying Bournemouth's going to make a run next year?
I think they could.
That's ridiculous.
I think they could. No. That's gone too far. But anyways. Here it is.
Yep.
Another episode of Lockdown Sports. We're talking through the Aston Villa move. The way the channel's going moving forward. Every week, 2 episodes. One talking about something happening right now.
Yep.
And one talking about something from the past.
Yep.
Okay? That's the way it is. Why didn't we upload the whole summer? Because I spent the whole summer drinking beer and watching cricket.
Hey, it was
Boo-hoo.
good summer, man. Can't
Great
complain.
summer.
It was absolutely great.
That's what it is. Anyways, stay tuned.
See ya.